The WNBA is currently in a state of total meltdown, and the receipts are finally being leaked for the entire world to see. We are not just talking about a standard shoe deal or a typical sponsorship arrangement. This is a calculated strike. The game tape does not lie, and the contract receipts are officially out. Caitlin Clark's newest multi-million-dollar deal is a masterclass in predatory psychological warfare that has left the rest of the league in a state of shock. Negotiators did not just sign a basketball player, they built a cage. They leveraged extreme scarcity and brand dominance to corner the entire market before any other player could even get a seat at the table. This deal is not about the $28 million. It is about a lifetime reputation ruin for anyone who tries to stand in the way of the Clark machine. The locker room has officially turned because of the hidden psychological triggers embedded in this contract. First off, you have to look at the length of this deal. 8 years. That is an absolute eternity in professional sports, where careers can end with one bad step. By locking her in for nearly a decade, Nike did not just buy her talent, they bought her entire career arc and every headline she will ever generate. This was a move to muzzle rivals like Adidas and Under Armour, who were ready to drop $16 million just to get her for 4 years. The negotiators used a tactic called psychological anchoring. They set the bar so high and the term so long that it made every other offer look like a joke or a slap in the face. This created a total monopoly over her brands before she even played her first professional minute. But it gets much deeper when you look at the non-verbal power plays used in the boardroom. Leaked details from the negotiations show that Clark's team did not just want money, they wanted a total takeover of the marketing landscape. They used the Caitlin Clark effect as a weapon against the brands themselves. They told executives that if they did not sign her now, they would be erased from the history books of women's basketball forever. It was a join us or die ultimatum. This forced a bidding war that was designed to fail for everyone but one specific player. Puma walked away because the entry fee was too high and they knew the game was rigged. Adidas offered $6 million and was practically laughed out of the room by agents who knew they had the league by the throat. This was not a fair negotiation. It was a corporate execution of the competition. The league was about to drop the hammer once they saw the hidden clauses that are now coming to light. There are specific brand dominance requirements in this deal that are meant to crush any rival products in Clark's vicinity. We are talking about strict non-compete language that prevents her from even being photographed near competing logos in her private time. The psychological weight of this is massive for a young athlete. It turns the human being into a walking billboard that never turns off. This is a predatory move to ensure that no other brand can even get a sniff of the Clark effect for the next 10 years. If she is seen with a rival product, she faces massive financial penalties that could wipe out an entire year's worth of earnings. This is how the muzzle works. What the cameras missed in the locker room was even worse than the public drama. Veteran players saw these numbers, and the league-wide tension exploded into a total war. A'ja Wilson and other superstars who have put in years of blood and sweat are watching a rookie walk in with a deal that dwarfs their entire career earnings combined. The contract receipts show that Clark is making $3.5 million a year from Nike alone, while her WNBA salary is barely $85,000. This massive pay gap has created a toxic environment that no amount of PR can fix. The locker room is split between the old guard and the Clark machine. The veterans feel like the front office and the massive brands have colluded to make them irrelevant in their own league. This is not just about jealousy. It is about the systemic erasure of the players who built the foundation. The game tape does not lie about the impact on the court either. Opponents are not just playing against Caitlin Clark, they are playing against the $28 million logo on her feet. This deal has put a massive target on her back that will never go away. Every hard foul and every technical is a direct reaction to the corporate dominance she represents. But the negotiators knew this would happen. In fact, they counted on it. They used the villain narrative to sell more merchandise. They want the drama. They want the beef. The more the league hates her, the more the brands win, because it keeps her name in the news cycle every single day. It's a sick cycle of manufactured conflict where the players are just pawns in a corporate chess match. The contract also includes behavioral anchors that are designed to keep Clark in a state of constant compliance. These are hidden clauses that tie her bonus money to specific public image metrics and social media engagement numbers. If she does not maintain a professional image that fits the brand's narrative, she loses millions of dollars instantly. This is how the brands muzzle the players and prevent them from having a real voice. They do not just want her to play basketball, they want her to be a silent and profitable asset that never speaks out of turn. It's a calculated strike to make sure she never speaks out against the brand or the league's corporate direction. She is effectively a corporate prisoner in a golden cage. The league war is only getting started, and the damage is becoming permanent. The new collective bargaining agreement even has a Caitlin Clark rule buried in the fine print. This rule allows young stars to jump to maximum contracts earlier than ever before in history. On the surface, it looks like a win for all players, but if you follow the money, it tells a different story. This rule was pushed by agents who represent the biggest brand-backed stars. It is designed to funnel all the league's salary cap into a handful of elite and marketable players, while leaving the rest of the league to rot and fight for minimum contracts. The rich get richer, and the veterans are pushed out of the league entirely. The receipts show that the salary cap is jumping 280% just to accommodate these massive deals in the future. But that money is not for everyone. It is specifically earmarked for the Generation Clark players who have the big brand backing from the start. This is how you destroy a league from the inside out. You create a tiered system where only the corporate-approved stars can survive and thrive. The locker room has officially turned into a war zone of haves and have-nots, where teammates don't even trust each other anymore. The game has become secondary to the contract forensics. The league was about to drop the hammer on any questioning the validity of this deal. We saw this clearly when rumors of a $15 million Big Three offer started circulating online. The media machine immediately went into overdrive to kill that story before it could gain any real traction. Why did they do that? Because the Big Three represents independent competition that the WNBA cannot control. Nike and the league negotiators could not have Clark playing in a league where they didn't own the broadcast rights and the apparel deals. They used their massive media influence to frame the Big Three offer as fake or not serious to protect Clark's brand purity at all costs. This was a calculated move to keep her under their thumb and prevent her from seeing what true market value looks like. But what they didn't tell her was the physical and mental cost of staying in that system. The Clark machine is now forced to play through injuries and extreme exhaustion because the brand deals require her to be on screen for every single game. The game tape shows a player who is physically drained and mentally checked out at times, but the contract receipts do not care about her health or her well-being. They only care about visibility and ad revenue. The psychological triggers in the deal reward her for playing through the pain, which is just a corporate way of saying you must risk your entire career for our stock price. This is the dark side of the multi-million-dollar dream. The league war has already claimed its first victims. Veteran stars who spoke out against the Clark bias are already seeing their own brand deals dry up and disappear. Negotiators are sending a clear and loud message to the rest of the league. You are either with the machine or you are invisible. This is the total meltdown of the WNBA's competitive balance that has existed for decades. It is no longer about who is the best player on the hardwood. It is about who has the most aggressive lawyers and the most predatory contracts in their file cabinet. The game has been replaced by a corporate spreadsheet, and the fans are starting to notice the change in energy. The locker room footage details that have leaked show players refusing to pass to Clark or intentionally leaving her on an island during defensive rotations. This is not just simple rookie hazing or tough love. This is a full-scale revolt against the corporate takeover of their sport. The veterans know that Clark's deal is the blueprint for their own eventual replacement. They are fighting for their professional lives and their dignity, but the facts show they are losing the battle. The Caitlin Clark rule ensures that the next wave of players will be even more tied to these predatory brand deals than she is. The system is being rebuilt to favor the brands over the athletes. The league is facing a total reputation ruin because it has traded its soul for shoe money and television ratings. The negotiators have officially cornered the market and built a wall around the superstar. They have created a system where one player's success is built directly on the destruction of the league's internal culture and history. This is not a growing pain for the WNBA. It is a terminal diagnosis for the way the game used to be played. The hidden psychological cues in this deal have successfully turned a professional sport into a corporate monopoly where the outcome is decided in a boardroom months before tip-off. The game tape does not lie. Every time Clark takes a shot, she is not just playing for the Indiana Fever or her teammates. She is playing for a group of suits in Oregon who have already decided the next 8 years of her life and her public persona. The contract receipts are out, and they show a player who has been stripped of her agency in exchange for a mountain of cash that she might not even have time to spend. This is the new reality of the WNBA in the modern era. It is a corporate war disguised as a basketball league, and the casualties are mounting every single day. The league was about to drop the hammer on any dissenting voices that dared to speak the truth. We are seeing media members and former legends being blackballed and silenced for questioning the Clark narrative. The psychological warfare extends far beyond the court and the locker room. It is a total media blackout on anything that makes the deal look predatory or one-sided. They want the public to believe this is a win for women's sports and a sign of progress, but the locker room knows the truth of the situation. This is a massive win for the brands and a devastating loss for the actual players who have to live with the fallout. The final buzzer is approaching for the WNBA as we once knew it. The villain in this story is not a single person or a single team. It is the predatory contract and the corporate greed that has turned the league into a toxic experiment. Caitlin Clark is the engine that drives the revenue, but the negotiators are the ones steering her toward a cliff. They have successfully leveraged scarcity and brand dominance to destroy the competition and silence the critics. The cost of this toxic behavior is the total collapse of the league's integrity and the trust of the players who built it. Caitlin Clark is the architect of her own career downfall if she continues to let these brands run her life like a puppet on a string. She has the money and the fame, but she has lost the respect of the peers she has to play against every night. The locker room has officially turned, and there is no going back to the way things were before the $28 million check was signed. The contract receipts show that she is a billionaire in the making, but she is becoming a pariah in the paint. The psychological triggers have worked exactly as intended. She is trapped in a cage of her own making, and the league is paying the ultimate price. The game tape does not lie. The WNBA is in a state of total meltdown, and the fire is spreading to every franchise. The Caitlin Clark effect was supposed to be the thing that saved the league from irrelevance, but it might be the very thing that finally kills it. The predatory deals and the hidden clauses have created a monster that no one in the front office can control anymore. The league war is over, and the brands have won a total victory. The cost of this toxic behavior is a league that no longer belongs to the fans or the players who love the game. It belongs to the highest bidder and the most ruthless negotiators.